What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Hope you guys are all doing well. And as we know, in a few days' time, 5.0 Genshin Impact is coming. And with that, Genshin Impact recently posted a post on HoYoLab about the new weapons coming into 5.0. As you all know, Natlan is here, and with a new region comes new craftable weapons. And so in this post, we look at the craftable weapons and see whether you should craft these, know how good they are for not only current characters, but where the future prospects of these weapons go. So before we carry on, do note that I stream live on Twitch, link in the description below, and let's get this video started. In the post, we have the 5-star weapon and also the craftable weapons, plus an event weapon that's I guess something that they never really mentioned, or I wasn't paying attention during the live stream. But basically, I think before we carry on talking about the craftable weapons, let's just talk about the 5-star weapon for Mualani, which is the Serves Out. She's a Catalyst Hydro user, so this is probably her best in slot. Well, it's not probably, this will be her best slot. She's HP scaling. So yeah, you know, if you really want to hyper invest or to vertically invest into her, you can use this. You can heavy pull for this weapon. Is this good on any other characters? Not really. For example, like Nivelette doesn't use normal attacks that much. He uses more of his charge attacks, so definitely, you know, he's only gaining the benefit from the crit damage and the max HP. That being said, I think that this is still a pretty decent weapon for Mualani because her shock attacks, I can't remember what exactly it was, those count as normal attacks, so definitely helps out quite a bit. All right, so let's move on to the main topic, which is the craftable weapons. And first, let's talk about the sword, which is the flute or Espitzel. All right, so this is a defense scaling sword. Right, at base and level 90, it is 69%. Very nice. And the passive is pretty simple. You get 16% defense for using elemental skill for 15 seconds. Pretty straight to the point. And it is a pretty good defensive stat stack. That being said, if you were around for the 2.4 event, the Albedo quest, you may have gotten the Cinnabar Spindle. So while these weapons could be good on a character like Albedo, like Chiori, I think that if you have the Cinnabar Spindle, it is a slightly better weapon. That being said, if you don't have it, I think that this could still suffice. And so if you don't have the Cinnabar Spindle and you are using these two characters, you may want to craft this. And also, looking at future prospects, we know that usually defense scaling characters are geo characters. So we know that in Natlan, we're getting two geo characters, the first being Kachina, who is a Polam user, and we'll talk more about that when we go to the Polam. So, and the other one, I think her name is Silonen, right? Silonen probably will, if she's geo and she's a sword user, this may be a good weapon for her as well. But as I said, you know, depending on whether you had Cinnabar Spindle or not. That being said, this is only at refinement 1. I don't know what's stat at refinement 5. So if this is a pretty high stat at refinement 5, it could be a pretty good defense stat stack. So it's not really it's not that bad of a weapon. It's pretty niche because there are not many defense scaling characters in the game. But for those that are, this could be a pretty good weapon if you don't have the Cinnabar Spindle. All right, so let's talk about the spear. All right, the Polam, which is the footprint of the rainbow. This is also another defensive scaling weapon, and it's the same passive as the sword. When you use the skill, you increase your defense by 16%. So currently, so we all know, as I mentioned, we know that Kachina will be a 4-star geo character. She's a Polam user, so this will probably be pretty good on her. And we are getting one for free by finishing the Archon quest, if I'm not wrong. So, you know, if you really want to use her, this can be decent on her. The other character that I know people were talking about is Yunjin. And in theory, could this definitely gives her more damage and everything. But Yunjin is a character that requires a lot of energy recharge. That is why most people run her with Emblem, most people run her with the Favonius lens. And so if you do not have the Favonius, if you swap the Favonius for this weapon on Yunjin, this will be pretty hard to out on every turn. You either have to have insane ER stats on all of your relics or all your artifacts, sorry. So I think that for a character like Yunjin, I think that it is much more comfy to have her on the Favonius lens than on the on this Polam. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, as of now, Kachina will probably be the best usage of this weapon. Like I said, you could probably use Yunjin, but I wouldn't unless you don't mind like outing once every 2 or even 3 rotations, depending on the team. So yeah, something to really take note of. So let's look at the catalyst, which is the ring of. I'm still gonna mispronounce a lot of these names. I think it's called Yash. I just call it the ring. All right, I'm so sorry. Let me know in the comment section below what is the pronunciation of the catalyst. But basically, it's a HP scaling catalyst, so really pretty good on Mualani. And basically, every time you use your skill, you get the Jade Forge Crown effect, which means that every hit 1000 max HP will increase your normal attack by 0.6. All right, so it'll be pretty good for your Mualani. This caps at 16%, which is let me do the math. All right, 16%. So this caps at about 26.7. So basically what this means is that you'll max this out when your character will have when your character has about 26 to 27k HP. All right, so and that's pretty easy if you are playing, when you're using a Hydro character, and also if you are playing in the double Hydro team, which gives the Hydro resonance gives extra HP percent. So like I said, this is pretty good on Mualani. If you do not want to pull for her signature weapon, this weapon probably at R5 will give you a much bigger boost. So it will not be that bad if you decide to go for this weapon instead for her. All right, so yeah, like I said, this is not really that bad. Other current characters that can use this, not really that common, because most of the other catalyst users use use attack, scale on attack. You could probably run this on Risley, but I wouldn't really do it unless you do I wouldn't really run this on Risley as well, unless you can get the HP to about 27k. But that being said, like, he doesn't scale on HP, so I wouldn't really recommend it. I think this is mostly a free-to-play option for Mualani. All right, so now let's move on to the Earthshaker, the Claymore. All right, it's a 27.6 attack percent on the substat. It's pretty decent main stat for a 4-star weapon. But basically the passive is that when a party member triggers a pyro-related reaction, the equipping character's elemental skill damage is increased by 16%. And yeah, this effect can be triggered even when the triggering party member is not on field. So what this basically means is that so when people read the pyro-related reaction, they will think that this will be good on pyro claymore characters like Diluc, like Garming, like Xinyan, and of course in the future the Pyro Archon Malvika. That being said, if you read this again, the character that's holding it does not need to be pyro. As long as you have pyro in your party, and they trigger a pyro related reaction, you will get the skill damage off the bat. And because it doesn't need to be on the field, you can use someone like Xiangling, for example, who's a very good off-fielder to trigger this reaction. And who is this good for? Well, obviously this can be good on all the Pyro Claymore characters, right? But it can also be good for a character like Navia, right? For example, if you don't have the I don't know how it ranks in the calculations. I'm not really that interested in that. But if you have Navia with Banner and Xiangling, which is a very common team comp, you know, that means that Navia can hold this weapon and she'll get the skill damage bonus, which if you remember, the biggest part about Navia's kit is the elemental skill. So this definitely helps out quite a bit. Other characters that this could be good for could probably be like Beidou in Overlook comp, but that's a little bit cope in my opinion, because Beidou, the main part of her kit comes from her ultimate. Unless you're like Wallenstein, you know, the guy on YouTube who does like 1 HP Beidou runs. This could be pretty good for those kind of characters. What other Claymore characters are there? Yeah, I'm blanking out because we don't have many Claymore characters actually. Definitely not for Eula. Yeah, so probably either like characters that are Pyro, or like Diluc like Garming, or characters that have Pyro in the team comp like Navia. So this is a decent weapon nonetheless. And probably because we see in the trailer that Malvika holds it in that scene where she fights Capitano, you know, this could be a good option for her if eventually she comes out and you don't want to pull for her signature weapon. But that, you know, because we already know that she's Claymore, but we see how it goes when her kit comes eventually. So it's something to look out for. I think this can be a decent weapon. So yeah. And the last one, the bow, Chainbreaker. All right. So basically, the weapon is that for every party member from Natlan. Ooh. So this people are reminded of the Lithic Spear and the Lithic Claymore for what's that, Lithic Blade, I think. Okay, it technically is not the Lithic weapons because it says that for every party member from Natlan or who has a different elemental type for the equipping character. So if they're not a Natlan but they have a different element, the equipping character gains 4.8 increased attack, which helps out quite a bit with the with this as well. And when there are no less than 3 of the aforementioned characters, the equipping character gains 24 elemental mastery. So basically what this means is that if everyone there fulfills the above requirement, so either from Natlan or of a different elemental type, you will get the 24 elemental mastery. So usually I guess this maybe promotes like a rainbow team comp. So, you know, let's say for example, I don't know who will be a bow user. We don't have any like confirmation. You know, you're looking at the characters as Chaska, there is Sitali. Maybe one of these characters may use this in the future. Would any current characters make use of this? Maybe Sethos. But usually Sethos wants to play in an aggravate style. So the most you can kind of split up is like 3 elements, which is Dendro, Electro, and maybe Animal. So it is a little bit iffy for characters that are not from, like, it's a little bit iffy for characters that are I'm blanking out, but that are not from Natlan. That's what I'm trying to say. The bow users currently that we have, most of them either are run in double elemental comps, which will not fulfill this criteria. So it is a little bit weird to see where this will go. So yeah, I think that this could be good. depending on who is a bold character release confirmed for in the future. That being said, currently we just do not know who this is good for, and I think that among the 5 weapons, this probably is the last one you would craft, depending on like counting from 5.0 up to 5.0, right? So yeah, before we move on to the last weapon, so as I mentioned, the bow will probably be the last priority in my opinion. So as of 5.0, I think the weapon that you can probably craft highest priority, not high priority, but the most like the best weapon as of 5.0 to craft is the catalyst, unless you are pulling for the 5-star. So you're not pulling for the 5-star, you know, then this will be a very good pull, a very good cop for those of you who want to pull for Mualani. And then I would say that the Earth Shaker is also pretty decent, and followed by the Footprint of the Rainbow. Like I said, Aaron's gonna get Kachina for free, so you know this will be good on her. I would say though, you could probably run Kachina with Favonius to help battery the team as well. So this is not like a mass build for Kachina if you really want to use her in like the old world and stuff. And then the sword, I think currently, unless the sword the sword can be a little bit higher depending on if you have Albedo or Chiori and you don't have the Cinnabar Spindle. This could be a higher priority for me because I have the weapon. This is on a lower priority. And of course, like I mentioned, the last will be the bow. Unfortunately, as of now, no character makes use of this very, very well. And until we get confirmation of a bow character coming from the Natlan cast, I think this is the last one on people's list. All right. Before we move on, sorry. Before we move on, this is the event weapon, as you can see from the bottom here. Let me try to zoom in. This Ash Graven Drinking Horn is basically an event weapon, so it's very similar to the Cinnabar Spindle, very similar to the Dodoko Tails, the Festering Desire, stuff like that. So basically, by participating in the event, this traces of artistry, right? You'll be able to get the materials. This is only for 5.0. So if you do not get this in this patch, you will not be able to get this anymore. But basically, this is a HP scaling, so it could be good on Mualani as well. But basically, when an attack hits an opponent, you do AoE damage equals to 40% of max HP at target location, and this effect can be triggered once every 15 seconds. So it's pretty decent. 15 seconds is a little bit long in my opinion. However, I think that this could be a really decent weapon on a character like Neuvillette as well. Considering it's a catalyst, it's also pretty nice. It looks pretty nice. So definitely something that you may want to consider using. I would say though, I think for Mualani this is better because you get additional damage from your normal attacks and stuff, whereas this is I think I don't know whether the 15 seconds it being triggered once every 15 seconds will out damage the bonus that you get from the craftable weapon. So I think only time will tell once once the full stats are out. That being said, I think it's just good to get it, and you know, like I said, it's a free weapon, it is decent. So you know, and I think this is a little bit more versatile in terms of using it on more characters, whereas I think this weapon is more for Mualani than other like Neuvillette. So yeah, that's what I think about the weapons in 5.0. Anyone that you plan to get and anyone that you're excited for, personally, I'm going to get a copy of the Claymore, just because I have grown to like Claymore more and more recently, so I wouldn't mind getting a copy of that. And also for the what's the other weapon? Not Catalyst. See, I'm blanking out. I better stop this video before I start blanking out more. But anyways, thank you for watching once again. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, like, subscribe, and all that good YouTube stuff. And do note that I stream live on Twitch. Link down in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, be good to yourselves and the people around you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.